You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Essentia. A better you starts with better hydration. Essentia is on a mission to inspire people to do what matters most. Their proprietary ionization process transforms water from any source into ionized alkaline water, providing water that's 99.9% pure with a pH of 9.5 or higher. Essentia Overachieving H2O, the #1 ionized alkaline water. Shop now.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. The game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. This is Triviality.
The cream of the crop!
Hey everybody, welcome to Triviality, the show where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name's Ken, and I'm going to be hosting the show today. So since this is the first episode, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background information on who we are. So we're just a couple buddies from Illinois, and we wanted to start a trivia podcast after continuously going to our bar trivia for, a year or so. So we just wanted to do a little something on our own and get started with this. So I just wanted to quickly introduce everybody. So I'm Ken, and I'm going to be your host for today, but we do plan on switching off every week. So this is Neil. Go ahead, take it away.
Hey guys, this is Neil. I'm going to be your scorekeeper today. Happy to have some listeners. If you like pub trivia or just trivia in general, I think you're going to like our show. It's friendly competition, and hopefully you guys will learn something. So thanks for joining us.
And how about Jeff?
Yeah, I'm Jeff. I guess I just recently joined the pub trivia team, but I'm super excited to be working on this podcast. I think it's a great way to help us flex our muscle come our trivia night. I'm not going to promise that we know anything on the show, but we'll give it a go and see what happens.
And Matt.
Yeah, so I'll probably be asking a disproportionate amount of sports questions, and I'll probably embarrass myself on some history questions. So I look forward to starting to play this game.
All right, so there you have it. This is Triviality, and we look forward to podcasting to you fine folks. Okay, it's time to get started for today. Our game format consists of 2 rounds of 10 questions each question being worth 10 points. We'll have a midpoint round in which the competitor that's down can make up a little ground, and we'll explain that later. And finally, we'll have a last round, which our competitors can bet up to 30 points per question for 5 questions. And we'll get the final scores and see who's the cream of the crop. So today, our competitors will be Jeff and Matt playing against each other, and Neil is going to function as a scorekeeper.
Yeah, so this should be a fun game. So you guys don't know a lot about us, but Matt has a specialty in sports and some entertainment, and Jeff has a specialty in history, geography, and science. So it should be a good battle today, and with Ken as our host, there's going to be a nice variety of questions, I think.
All right, so today the rounds are actually going to be lightly themed. Doesn't really pertain to the specific theme entirely, just a little bit of stream of consciousness sort of themes going into the questions today. So the first round's theme is going to be spending time at sea. Okay, getting started now. First question. In golf, a birdie is 1 under par, an eagle is 2 under. What is 3 under par called besides a double eagle? How well do you guys know golf terms? This was surprising to me when I looked it up. So,
do you golf, Ken?
I do not golf.
I haven't golfed in a
Usually
long
I can
time.
drive a bucket of 100 balls, and on the 100th ball, I'll get a pretty decent drive. Gentlemen, do we have our answers in?
We have it, yeah.
I'm all set.
All right, what do we have? Matt?
So 1 under is a birdie, 2 under is eagle, 4 under is actually a condor, and 3 under is an albatross.
Okay, and how about Jeff?
So I'm glad the spelling doesn't count, but I wrote albatross.
All right, looks like you guys are both correct. I thought that was a hard question, but not too bad for you, gentlemen.
You should be a golfist.
I thought maybe somebody would say gull or something like that.
On the board right away. I like it.
On the board. All right. So next question. We're going to just roll right into it. Who wrote The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, a 1798 poem in which a mariner kills an albatross, bringing a curse on the ship?
1798?
It is 1798.
I despise you.
Yeah, well.
Good
What
thing
are you going to do?
Good thing I'm not playing because my specialty is 1797
Oh,
poems.
that's a shame.
Yeah.
Jeff, how we looking here? Just thinking about it?
Not looking good.
All right.
Looks like Matt is in with his answer.
Yep. Using
I'm just going to have to take a wild guess here. Or you have a thought?
No, I have I have no good thought, so I'm going to put in a completely wrong answer, I assume. Unless it's right, then it was the right answer all along.
All right, very well. Let's start with Jeff.
So I went with the maritime theme, and I picked Herman Melville, author of Moby Dick. I know that's the wrong time.
Little early.
But
A little early for him, but it's okay. It's okay.
But I had no
solid
idea.
guess, solid guess. And there was albatross themes in Moby Dick, so.
Yeah, so I used the only Mariner knowledge I have, and I said Ken Griffey Jr.
I'm afraid you're incorrect. It was Samuel Taylor Coleridge wrote that.
Not ringing a bell. To be
yeah,
honest.
that's
I don't know if he had as good a swing as Ken Gifford Jr. So.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
He wasn't a lefty, so that's probably what it was.
All right, sticking with the boat stuff. What nautical and aeronautical term represents the right side of a ship? The right side of a ship.
I always get these two confused.
You know, I do too, and I thought that's why it would make a decent question.
I've got an answer.
Okay.
Same here.
All right, let's start with Matt this time.
So I was looking up things on ships because I was researching poop decks, and
As you would.
as it happens,
As
from time
one
to time.
does.
Yeah. And the only nautical term I could even think of is stern.
Okay.
So I know that the bow of the ship is the front, and the rear of the ship, I believe, is the stern. But the two sides are port and starboard. And something in the back of my head told me that you should remember that port and left have the same number of letters. And you said you wanted the right side of the ship, correct? So I went
correct.
starboard.
All right, it is starboard. Nice work, Jeff. Worked it out.
I had no idea if that was right or not. That was just, I had an association in my head and I went with it.
All right, let's talk about pirates a little bit. Not really, but kind of. Scurvy. Scurvy is a condition caused by lacking what specifically in one's diet?
Can you go through that one again?
Scurvy is a condition caused by lacking what specifically in one's diet?
I was thinking
What?
the whole thing, just in case I was too busy laughing because I thought it was funny.
You're allowed to laugh, Jeff.
Fair enough.
Pirates are funny.
They are funny. Well
Jeff
done.
is
thinking about it.
He's thinking about it. Matt seems pretty confident.
Neil, how about a score update really quick?
So Jeff took an early lead in question 3 with 20 points, and Matt is at 10 points. So close game.
Okay, how we looking there, Jeff?
All right, I'm gonna take a stab at it.
All right, Jeff's writing something down. So we're going to start with Jeff on this question.
So I know that scurvy can be prevented by eating like limes and lemons and stuff. So I just went with citric acid.
Okay.
I put vitamin C.
Okay. The answer I have down is vitamin C. What do you think on that answer, Neil? I'm going to let you be the judge. You think we can take citric acid?
That's a different thing.
It is a different thing. I know where he was going, and he was close, but I think
So we're gonna
I will do a score update at halftime. But right now, I'm going to say we just give that to Matt.
All right, we're going to give that to Matt.
Yeah, I definitely had that wrong.
All right, guys, it's time for question 5, which we like to call our listener-submitted question. If you have a good question that you'd like to send us to incorporate into the game, make sure to send us an email to trivialitypodcast@gmail.com. And in the subject line, put question 5. We will choose one question for each round.
Oh, it's ascorbic acid is vitamin C.
There you go.
No, I feel stupid.
That's okay.
I would have given him points for vitamin R. And you can cut that.
You get no points.
Oh, no, that is...
you get no
that's staying
points
in.
for puns.
All right, this is a very, very in-depth question about the sea here. Girl, Sailor, and Sea Legs are two songs from the 2007 album Wincing the Night Away from what indie rock group? Girl, Sailor, and Sea Legs. The album was Wincing the Night Away.
2007.
2007.
Indie rock group.
Well, the album was 2007. How we thinking? Got anything in mind, gentlemen? This is a favorite album of mine too.
A lot of concentration right now.
All right. I know this is incorrect, but Ken said it's a favorite album of his, so I have submitted my answer.
All right.
Jeff is in.
And Matt is writing.
A whole bunch of stuff.
All right, we're going to start with Matt on this one. Looks like both contestants are in.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a indie band that's written various nautical themed songs. I just said Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos.
Okay, solid guess. How about you,
That's
Jeff?
much better than my guess. I went with an album that I know wasn't in 2007 by what is definitely not an indie rock group, and I went with the album Jane Doe.
We're looking
by
for a
Converge.
band. Okay, so we're going with Converge.
He actually gave you the album. So
Did he give you the album?
it was Wincing the Night Away.
Oh.
Well, that's it's quite a brutal band. Not the correct answer. Band is less brutal. It's the Shins.
Oh.
The Shins, Wincing the Night Away, 2007. All right, moving right along to the next C question. Robert Redford spent some time at sea in the film All Is Lost, in which he is credited as playing what character? Hint, it is not an actual name. It's not a formal name. Do you understand the implication? Okay. This is a great film, by the way. If any of the listeners are looking to watch something new and different, Robert Redford, one-man show pretty much.
Can't
on a
go
boat.
wrong with Redford.
Is it on the Criterion Collection?
I don't.
Maybe in a
it's
few
not
years.
old enough.
Yeah.
50 years or so, it might be a Criterion. Any thoughts on this?
I have a random guess put in there.
Okay.
I've also put in what I assume is a random guess.
This is a pretty difficult question, but I thought it was interesting. So, regardless, all right, let's start with Jeff on this one.
I have no rhyme or reason. I went Admiral.
Admiral.
I put Sea Captain.
Sea Captain. Not bad guesses. However, it's a little bit more ambiguous, and the name is R Man. R Man.
Our man.
R Man.
Like
Redford man.
R. Dot Man? Or
R.
O-U-
No, R. Belonging to
like
us.
he's our
Oh,
man.
our
He's
man.
our man.
Oh, you
Yeah.
are, man. Got
We
it.
identify with him
Robert
in the
Redford
film.
is our man. He's America's man.
He's America's man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How dare you?
All right.
How dare you?
I can't think of a suitable replacement for that, though. Like,
Do you have a favorite Robert Redford movie? Mine's The Natural.
That's probably that one.
Yeah, I
to
love
be
that. I love
honest.
that movie. Great
That's
baseball movie.
No, not The Natural. Probably All Is Lost.
That's your favorite Redford?
Yeah,
That's.
probably.
I mean, yeah, that's a good film.
I used to like, was it The Last Castle?
Last Castle's fun too. with Gandolfini.
It might not hold up very well, but I
Yeah.
used to like it when I
Fun
was
guilty
younger.
pleasure. Matt, any favorite Redford movies?
Probably none of them because I haven't seen any. So
Well, that's a good answer. Jeff.
no Redford movie?
Jeff's sporting the Redford like reddish beard.
River
today.
Runs Through It, perhaps. Maybe The Sting.
All the President's Men.
The River Runs Through It's Brad Pitt's fourth best movie.
Oh.
Ooh. All right, we'll hear this list later, hopefully,
Yeah.
of the top
All right.
three.
top three.
I have made up this list, and 4 was what I thought was a good arbitrary assignment of Brad
Here's-
Pitt movies.
Here's a question that has a lot to do with the sea. Within 3 years, what year did the Sailor Moon anime begin in Japan?
In Japan.
In Japan.
Within 3 years, right?
3 years. Giving you a little bit of a window here.
Okay. It was a little bit more in my wheelhouse as opposed to
Okay.
movies from 50 years ago.
I mean, I also feel like anime is a strong suit, but Sailor Moon is not
Yeah.
one of those.
Well, it's nautical themed, so sailor. That's the connection there. Are we in
I get it.
contestant?
I get
They're
it.
more astronauts, if I remember right, because
Yeah,
aren't they
I
like
totally-
Sailor Jupiter
I have-
and
yeah, I
Sailor
think so.
Mars,
I have no
Sailor
idea. I
Venus?
never
Yeah,
watched
I've
that.
never watched the show, but let me name all the sailors right now.
All right.
Well, I just remember because I liked planets as a kid. I thought it was weird that they were named Sailor and then after a planet.
Yeah.
And the Planeteers were not named after planets. It was a real problem.
Shame. Are we in, gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
All right, Matt, you want to start on this one?
So I know that I used to see it in the early 90s. It was a cartoon when it was dubbed into US. And I know a lot of times those come from shows that were probably 5-6 years old. So I put it down around 1986.
Okay. And how about you, Jeff?
So I also remember mid-90s, but I had a feeling that that one was a little bit quicker on the turnaround. So I hedged my bets and I went 1994.
Okay. Jeff's going to get points on this one. It is 1992. So you're within the 3. I thought that was a little difficult, so I thought 3 years was fair.
The animation style seems more late 80s, I
It
think, when
does.
you
I
watch
agree.
it.
I was a little surprised by how
Yeah.
late it actually was. And I had to specify the anime because there was, of course, manga preceding it.
They're
so-
making new versions of that now, are they? Oh, they are?
Probably.
Really?
Okay.
They're remaking everything you remember from
That's
your
true.
childhood.
It is the nostalgia
What
era.
is what is the saying? Everything old is new again.
That's right.
I've never heard it.
All right, we're going to move on. We're going to keep in the media section, though. What is the full name of the fourth Pirates of the Caribbean movie released in 2011? So it has a subtitle. Want to get the
They
full
almost
name.
all have a subtitle.
Bringing out the fifth one pretty soon. Should they? Who knows?
Who knows?
But they
first one in the series not directed by Gore Verbinski, number 4.
Really?
That you're questioning, yeah.
Okay.
Looks
We've
like
got some furious writing going on here.
Yeah, Matt is in. Jeff is furiously writing.
Well, it's a long title. They all are because
Yep.
it's Pirates of the Caribbean.
All right. Let's have it, Jeff.
So the only one that I could remember that wasn't the first one was Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's an earlier one, but
I put Dead Man's Chest.
Okay. So I believe the one that Jeff answered with was the third one.
if it's Dead Man's Chest, I'm so mad because
Dead
I
Man's
crossed out.
Chest is not the right answer, but the correct
Is
answer
it On
is
Stranger
On
Tides?
Stranger Tides. Yeah, that's the fourth one, which was not received very well, if I
Yeah.
recall correctly.
Yeah, in order for you guys, number 1 is The Curse of the Black Pearl, 2003. Dead Man's Chest, 2006. At World's End, 2007. On Stranger Tides, 2011. And the new one coming out, Dead Men Tell No Tales, 2017.
Yeah, I thought the first two were pretty solid, and then the kind of jumped the shark a little bit.
You just like Jack Davenport.
All right, I do. It's
I
great.
can't wait for the 8th one or whatever.
When Johnny Depp is a geriatric.
2020.
2 pirate, 2 Caribbean.
29. All right.
All right, first of all, the Fate of the Furious is clever enough that I will let it fly.
All right, here's a real pirate question now. What was the name of Blackbeard's flagship, which was at one point called the Concorde prior to its capture?
This one I feel like I should know.
The name of Blackbeard's famous ship.
I mean, you'd almost be better asking Pittsburgh Pirate questions at this point, because at least one of us would get it.
Roberto
That would have
Clemente.
been funny.
Are you a Pittsburgh Pirates fan?
No, but
Oh.
I know Matt knows sports trivia, so at least someone would have gotten
Pirates
some points
nautical.
on this.
It's practically a nautical question.
No, Mariners would also be a good tie-in.
Mariners.
Something about boats, right? Is that what we're doing? I forgot.
Yeah, a Blackbeard's boat.
Hey.
The boat of Blackbeard.
No fans of Blackbeard here, apparently.
No fans.
No fans.
His fan base has been suffering as of late. You can.
Yeah.
The fan club shrinks every year.
Yeah, his old stuff was better, if we're honest.
His first album.
Yeah.
We should get a jump start at r/Blackbeard.
Oh,
Probably exists.
I only said it because
I
I
get
thought
it.
it might.
r/Blackbeard.
Yes, it's
Very, very
clever,
good.
but it's
Very
also
good.
Reddit. Yeah. I feel like I just ruined how clever that was by mentioning or by
explaining
expounding
it.
on it.
There is a Reddit.
That's okay. Just
subreddit.
patronize our viewers or our listeners.
Gradual
Fine.
Blackbeard.
I'm just trying to patronize you.
Jeff seems to be writing. Matt's still thinking.
Yeah, still thinking.
And we're gonna need the answers in shortly.
I thought, and I came to the conclusion that I have no idea. So I just wrote something.
Okay. So let's start with Matt on this one.
Yeah, I have no idea. I put Blackbeard's boat.
Blackbeard's boat.
So going off the Pirates of the Caribbean theme, I wrote Black Pearl,
Black
on
Pearl.
the off chance that that's actually correct.
No, that's not correct, unfortunately. It is the Queen Anne's Revenge.
Oh,
famous ship.
I have heard that at least.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
Got a real barn burner
It
here.
was,
Where
it
are the
was
scores now?
formerly known as the Concorde when it was an English vessel, I believe. And then it was captured by the French, renamed, and given to Blackbeard. And he renamed it a second time, I suppose. Queen Anne's Revenge.
So he's like the Sean Combs of the pirate world.
Right, exactly.
So we have with one
That's
question.
what they called him back in the
That's
day.
what they did call him. Yeah. With one question left in the first round, Jeff has 30, Matt has 20. So close game.
All right. And the final question in the C round. The Sea of Tranquility is a location that is associated with what astronomical body?
I knew this before you said astronomical body.
All right. So Jeff, feeling confident
Yep.
here.
I
As
think
is
this-
Matt. We are in right away. All right, let's have the answers. Let's start with Jeff.
I will tie this back with Sailor Moon and go with Futurama's were whalers on the moon, and it was definitely the moon.
All right. And how about Matt?
Yep, also put the moon.
All right. Looks like we have both contestants getting the answer right as we move into the midpoint round.
Yeah, so we have a score of 40-30. Jeff is in the lead, and the first and last question of the round were the only ones they both got right together. So,
Okay.
Starting, ending strong. It's
Nice.
important.
So golf and the moon.
There you go.
Neil Armstrong was.
I was going to say now we could go to, I always forget his name. Who was it who played golf on the moon?
Not Neil Armstrong. But
Yeah, they were just trying to figure that stuff out. By the time they landed there, they weren't about to be like, let's get cocky and play golf up
Was
there.
it Gene Cernan who played golf
it
on
was
the moon?
Alan Shepard.
That's the one.
There you go.
the non of the two that everyone knows.
Thank you, fact checker Neil.
There you go.
Okay, so for the midpoint question today, we are going to do what's called a tug of war. I'm going to ask for a list, and our competitors are going to switch off naming items off the list till somebody runs out of answers, and then the person who can keep answering gets that many more points. So each answer will be worth 10 points, but the answers also cancel. So for example, if somebody was able to come up with 4 answers and another 6, the person who came up with 6 answers would get 20 points. So today's tug of war question involves Kurt Vonnegut novels. There are 14 total, and we are going to ask you to name as many as you can. We are going to start with Matt, as he is down in the scores right now.
Yep. This is one of those categories where I mentioned earlier that I'd be embarrassing myself in. I probably don't know any, so I'm going to say Choke, and I'm pretty sure that's Chuck Palahniuk, but...
It is Chuck Palahniuk.
Yep, and that's all I have.
That is Chuck Palahniuk, and we're going to move on to Jeff and see how many he can name now. So he can just run up the score right now if he knows.
No,
if
I
he knows
mean,
several.
I know Slaughterhouse 5.
Okay, that's 1 for Jeff.
Does Matt have another opportunity,
Yeah.
or I just run with
No,
it?
you just run with it if you know more. We're going to put a
You
little...
do Cat's Cradle.
Cat's Cradle is another. How many more can he come up with? Can he keep going?
Well, this isn't going as bad for me as I thought it was.
He's going to run out of steam pretty quick here.
Thought we might have a few more answers here.
Well, those are the only 2 I've read, so...
All right. We're going to give you 5 more seconds to come up with another one before we reset the timer.
That's fine. I'll tap out here.
All right, Jeff's tapping. So, in order, we have Player Piano, The Sirens of Titan, Mother Night, Cat's Cradle, God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater, or Pearls Before Swine, Slaughterhouse 5, or The Children's Crusade, A Duty Dance with Death, Breakfast of Champions, or Goodbye Blue Monday, Slapstick, or Lonesome No More, Jailbird, Dead-Eye Dick, Galapagos, a novel, Bluebeard, the autobiography of Rabo Karabakian, and Hocus Pocus, and Timequake. All right, so there you have it. We are going to run up Jeff's score of 20 more points, giving him a total of 60, and Matt a total of 30 going into the next round.
All right.
So, hearing all of those titles, those were the only 2 I was going to get. That was it.
I think I probably could have got maybe 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah.
Maybe. I've read a few. I like them. But moving on nonetheless, the second round theme is going to be called Film and Film Adjacent.
Oh, see, I wish I was playing. This is fun.
So some of them are actual film questions, but most of them are just film adjacent with the films thrown in as hints for you, more or less. The first one is an actual film question, though. Real-life convict turned actor Edward Bunker played what character in the 1992 film Reservoir Dogs? Edward Bunker.
Well, I know it's not Mr. Pink, and that's as far as I got.
All right. How we looking there?
Not good. Is that a good answer?
Jeff, any ideas? I know you've seen the film.
That is a statement of fact. That doesn't mean I've retained it after 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it drunk maybe like 6-7 years ago. So it's on my like Netflix queue or whatever. Probably it started having a Netflix queue.
All right, Jeff's writing down a guess.
Yeah,
And,
I've got a guess.
Since Jeff's in first place, let's start with Matt on this.
I just put Mr. Black.
Okay, Mr. Black.
I went Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown. So Mr. Black is not a character in the film. Mr.
No.
Brown is played by Quentin Tarantino. Edward Bunker played Mr. Blue. He's not in the movie as much as the other guys, but he's in the diner scene at the beginning and a couple other scenes in the film. Again, not one of the main like 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, I was happy that at least it was a colored name and I didn't feel too
Yeah.
Pretty good guesses on both of your parts.
It would have been really mean if he picked a...
It's like Jerry. Like, damn it.
All right. Next question. According to Vocative, a data mining news organization, as of February 2015, what individual has received the most thanks in Academy Awards acceptance speeches? What individual has received the most thanks in Academy Award acceptance speeches by mentions of name? FYI, God was 6th.
Okay, let's scratch that off. And it's a proper name.
Yeah.
That's a great clarification. I will not be crossing out my answer.
Thought that was very amusing that God was 6th.
Yeah, God was definitely my first guess.
If it was the Grammys, then it would have been.
Yeah.
Oh, I was correct. Oh, good. Okay.
It's number 1 for the Grammys?
No, just what the answer is out
Neil,
in my head.
Neil knew it.
I knew it.
Unfortunately, he's not playing.
I'm not playing,
today.
though. My personal points are racking up.
I was thinking it was Mom until you said it was a proper name.
That's why I asked that clarification, because I thought that Mom might
That's a really good clarification, actually, because that would be an interesting answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are we looking on the answers here?
I mean, I have something.
Okay. Jeff, you're in as well. Let's start with Jeff.
Yeah, not looking good, but I know he's done a lot of movies. I think a lot of people owe him credit for inspiring some of their careers. I went Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg's the one.
And what do we have from that?
I said Scorsese.
Both great filmmakers, and both, I believe, in the top 10. The answer is Steven Spielberg.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
But Scorsese was a good guess. I do believe he was in the top 10 on that list.
Well, a lot of people forget Steven Spielberg is a great director, but he's also a very prolific producer as well, and he has his hand in a lot of different films. So
He also, doesn't he own a special effects company that does work for, or does contracting work for?
Well, he works a lot with ILM, has a special relationship with them, and George Lucas, when George Lucas started ILM,
Okay. Next question. The name of the film Full Metal Jacket is derived from what piece of military equipment? What is Full Metal Jacket reference?
I'm in.
Okay. Jeff is writing furiously.
I have some idea, but I'm pretty much toast on this one, so I'll write something down.
Matt's taking a bit of a guess. Let's start with Matt.
Yeah, I just said a bulletproof vest.
Bulletproof vest, not a bad guess. Jeff, what did you have?
So I know that a jacket is the casing for a bullet, so I guessed a bullet.
All right. That is actually correct. Full Metal Jacket bullet is a type of ammunition that they used, especially in Vietnam, which the movie is about. All right, moving on. The film Moneyball deals with the Oakland A's ascent using sabermetric approach to scouting during the 2002 season. Spoiler alert, the A's didn't win the World Series that year, but who did?
2002, right?
2002.
Matt furiously writing down.
No.
You like that long diversion of a question, Jeff?
Yeah, I
He's
guess-
shaking his head. No.
Well, I was hoping you would ask what team, and I was like, oh, Oakland A's, got it. No
Yeah,
big
it's
deal.
too easy.
Yeah.
Billy Bean, correct?
Billy Bean.
Yeah, that was the answer I wrote down first and crossed out because I thought that's what the question was.
Brad Pitt eating his way through that movie as per usual.
Always eating.
Was that number 2 on your Brad Pitt movie?
Maybe.
It's a good
What's
one.
up there?
Yeah, for you listeners, if you never noticed this, anytime you watch Brad Pitt perform, just watch how much he eats on camera, and you'll never forget it.
It's funny you should say that because you said that, and the first thing that came to my mind is him eating a sandwich I think it's a sandwich in Ocean's 11. I think when he's talking about
Or,
the poker
any
game
of
with
his
Topher
movies.
Grace. Well, it's funny because that immediately I could think of a scene where he was eating. So obviously,
I think he was even getting a little peckish at the end of 7.
best Brad Pitt movie.
It's top 3 for sure.
Not
All right,
his-
any guesses here, Jeff?
Not from his personal credit, but
Well, you have 30 guesses.
yeah, fair enough. No, 29, right?
Yeah, and it's probably not the Cubs.
I know that much about baseball. All right. I know they won a different season, but I'm just going to go with it anyway.
Jeff's writing, and we're going to start with him.
So I went with the Mariners. I believe they won in 2004, but
Mariners, not a bad
no,
guess.
not in 4.
They haven't won in a long time.
When was the last time they won?
The 70s.
Were they good in 2004?
They were good, yeah.
Ah,
They had
might be.
116 wins in 2001. So 2002, if I remember correctly, was the Angels versus the Giants in the World Series, and I'm pretty sure it was the Angels, so I said the Angels.
All right, looks like Matt knows his sports, and he's going to catch up to Jeff a little bit here. Can we get a score recap, maybe, Neil?
Right. So second round here, Jeff has gotten 2 questions right for an extra 20 points. Matt with 1 question right with an extra 10.
Yeah.
Scores right now are 80-40. Jeff in the lead.
All right. So next is a film and video game question.
Ooh.
In the video game BioShock, Genetically modified humans surgically grafted into diving suits serve as adversaries. They are known by a name that may bring an Adam Sandler film to mind. What are they called?
Adam Sandler movie. See, now I feel like I don't know it.
All right, so I have no idea. I have not
Okay.
played Bioshock, but I've got an answer, so...
Yeah.
I just want to run through a few Adam Sandler movies and see what
Yeah.
you're coming up with.
Oh, yeah. Now I got it.
Yeah, thanks.
I was like, wait a minute.
All right.
I knew it was something. Okay.
Let's get the answers, starting with Matt.
Yeah, so I knew that, I thought that they were called mothers at first, and then as soon as I started going through the Adam Sandler question, that's when I got to Big Daddy.
Okay, Jeff, what did you have?
See, I went Waterboy.
Waterboy. See, I wrote this question. The answer is Big Daddy, first of all. I wrote this question without Waterboy in mind. And when I asked this question to a friend, like, oh, hey, I'm doing this trivia thing, he said Waterboy. And I go, ooh, that's devious on accident, because I didn't even mean that. Yeah. But it is Big Daddy.
They're
Maybe
called
should-
Happy Gilmores, actually.
Happy Gilmore.
I was thinking
stuff.
Billy Madison's.
Or Little Nicky's. Yeah.
Little Nicky's actually wouldn't be the worst.
So there are a couple possible answers in there, but I was not even thinking about Waterboy, and I was like, oh, that's devious on accident. So I really enjoyed that
Medulla
question.
oblongata.
There you go. All right, moving on to the next question. What landmark, which completed construction in 1889 and was featured the same year as the entrance to the World's Fair, was destroyed in the following films? Mars Attacks, Armageddon, Team America World Police, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
All fantastic films.
Especially Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
So I've only seen a few of those movies, but I'm pretty sure this was built and finished in you said 1889?
1889 is the year I have.
Okay, then I'm almost positive of my answer.
Okay.
The movies do nothing for me, actually, so...
All right, we'll start with Jeff on this one.
So I believe the Eiffel Tower was completed in 1889.
Okay, we're going to say Eiffel Tower for Jeff.
Yeah, and I was thinking World's Fair 1889, and I was thinking that it was in St. Louis, but now that I'm thinking about it, that was in 1908 or something, so I put St. Louis Arch, which I now realize is probably wrong.
Okay, the answer is Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
I only knew that because of the
Iconically
year.
destroyed in many, many films.
I really only knew that because of the year.
Yeah. Well, it was meant as a hint, so it worked out in your favor. Next question. What author's works include Death in the Afternoon and The Green Hills of Africa? He was also portrayed by Corey Stoll in Midnight in Paris. Corey Stoll, great up-and-coming actor, doing some good work.
Yeah, good character actor, for sure.
Not Feldman, right? Or Haim?
No, he's
Wow,
not one of
this
the,
is
he's
no
not one
longer
of
with
the
us.
Coreys.
Not one of the Coreys, correct.
Have you seen the film, or perhaps know the
I'm a big fan of
pieces
that
of
film.
literature? Either way, it could help.
Oscar winner for Woody Allen for screenplay, who didn't show up.
There you go.
He was busy.
Yeah, he's always busy, yeah.
All right, I put in an answer.
Yeah.
Got a couple answers down.
Yeah.
We're going to start with Matt,
I just put Kurt Vonnegut because that's a name we talked about earlier.
Kurt Vonnegut, and Jeff.
I went with Ernest Hemingway.
Ernest Hemingway is the correct
That's a
answer
much
on this
better
one.
answer. Probably because it's right.
It's funny, I couldn't think if it was right or not, but I know he had written some other texts that I had read. Did he do the one about Kilimanjaro? Was that Hemingway? Or did I just...
I'm not sure.
Have
You'll
a-
need to specify.
Did I have a loose association that was completely wrong and I got it right anyways?
Perhaps. I don't remember seeing that
He did
one.
do The Snows of Kilimanjaro in 1961.
I
So
stand corrected.
my thought was he had written about Africa. I think he had been there, maybe on safari. I know he was a bit of a world traveler, so...
All right.
Wow, Ernest Hemingway.
Is that your Owen Wilson?
That's my own Wilson.
That's pretty good. Wow.
Yeah, Paris, beautiful, yeah.
Do we have a swear jar for impressions too?
I like impressions. I think I'll allow it.
I just
All right.
I'm just being
Host
funny.
discretion.
I can't do impressions,
So
if I try one,
this next question might be a little difficult, but I thought it was pretty interesting.
After all these cakewalks before, then this
Yeah.
will be the difficult.
We got some good pointage racking up
Yeah.
here.
I felt quite beat up by a few of these questions.
All right. Director and early innovator of special effects George Méliès was thought to have produced how many films, rounded to the nearest 100? If you guys have seen Hugo,
I know.
you'll know he
Hugo.
was featured in that film. Spoiler alert.
To the nearest 100?
All right.
Am I pronouncing the name correctly? George
Méliès? Yeah.
Méliès?
Or yeah,
Méliès?
I probably Malay, yeah.
Méliès is French.
Portrayed by Ben Kingsley.
Google ought to be able to sort that out.
So, rounded to the nearest 100.
Man.
He was a very early filmmaker, so
Trip to the Moon is
some of them
wonderful.
were, just,
Yeah.
not full films, obviously, just kind of figuring out the medium. Some pretty impressive special effects for the time, though.
Oh, he was an innovator. It could be Méliès as well.
Méliès,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I have an answer, so.
Sounds
All right.
right.
Matt has written a guess.
I wrote 2 guesses and I crossed the first one out, but I'm willing to go with this one.
Well, I've written 5 guesses and crossed them all out. so-
Okay, let's start with Jeff.
So I was thinking if close to near 100, I was thinking it would be really high, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote a really high answer, and I thought, no, that's maybe too high. So I backed it down. I went 800.
800. And how about you, Matt?
I thought that he was a little more prolific than that and said 900.
900. Well, it's a little bit lower than both your guesses. It's actually around 500 films, probably about 520, somewhere between 520, 530. There's a little bit of, guessing about some of the films haven't been maintained. They're not sure if he was actually responsible for all of them, but most people, and he's, most sources credit him with between 520 and 530. So 500 was the answer. Quite proud of this question.
And only about 200 of them remain in existence today.
There you go. And if you have a couple minutes, you can watch a couple of those on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, and you might recognize A Trip to the Moon, which I mentioned. It's the man's face on the moon with the
rocket stuck in it.
Yeah, exactly.
They've colorized that, haven't they?
Yeah, they have
Yes,
colorized,
sir.
yeah.
All right, so the next question is, in The Revenant, Leonardo DiCaprio's character is mangled by a bear. If the film had been written by A.A. Milne, what might that bear be named?
My coworkers laugh at me because I always do an impression of Inarritu talking about the bear. No, I'll just bust it out. I'll go like, when Leo had to fight the bear, he was cut up really bad. That's a really deep reference for film nerds if you know the director.
Great film. I really enjoyed that one. Missed out on the Best Picture, but won
Well,
several other Oscars.
Leo worked his ass off for that
Worked
Oscar.
his ass off.
So that's still in my Netflix queue.
What might that bear be named if it were written by A.A. Milne, Jeff? Matt has written an answer.
Mm-hmm. I feel 50-50 on this one,
He's 50-50.
which is better than my usual 10%.
This is once again just one of those misleading film questions.
Yeah.
All
Right.
So
I mean,
we both have something written down. We're going to start with Matt.
I said Gentle Ben.
Gentle Ben. How about you, Jeff?
I went with a different famous bear. I went Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh is correct.
Yeah.
Pooh Bear.
Gentle Ben, not a nickname for
Well,
Ben Roethlisberger.
There's a great picture circulating the internet after that film came out of Leonardo DiCaprio with Winnie the Pooh mangling him.
I just like the idea of a bear named Gentle Ben mangling Leonardo DiCaprio.
Are we cutting the off-color Ben Roethlisberger joke?
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Never.
He deserves the
He
criticism.
of course he does.
All right. Here's the next question. As of 2014, British prisoner, artist, and subject of the 2008 film Bronson, Charles Bronson, once again changed his name to show respect to one of his favorite artists. Who is this artist? And to clarify, I do mean visual artist.
That's a good clarification, because I was thinking somebody like Prince or something, and like that's not right at all.
All right, yeah, we're looking for visual artists on this one. So, once again, we're talking about Charles Bronson, the British prisoner, who also became an artist while in prison, not the actor.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2008 film Bronson is quite a semi-biographical film about him. Very good. Tom Hardy acts in it. Interesting movie to say the least. So we're talking about visual artists. Somebody that he might revere and change his name to again. Charles Bronson is also not his real name.
All right, I'm in with an answer.
Okay, we were both locked in. We are going to start with Jeff.
So I went with a visual artist that I have no idea if he has any association with.
Okay.
But I went Jackson Pollock.
Jackson Pollock. Not a bad idea. Kind of matches the insanity there.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt?
I went with Monet.
Monet. All right, both good guesses.
Is it Edvard Munch?
It's Salvador Dali.
Ah.
So he's currently known as Charles Salvador, no longer Charles Bronson.
And born Michael Gordon Peterson.
Yeah, so he keeps switching it up based on his mood.
I would too if my middle name was Gordon.
All right, can we get the score recap going into the final round?
Skip it.
So before going into the final round, Jeff is going to have 110 points to work with, and Matt is going to have 50 points to work with. So make sure your wagers for your final round are only using the points that you've acquired.
Okay, so for the final round, we're going to reiterate how it works one more time. I'm going to read off the categories of the questions. The competitors will have an opportunity to bet 0 to 30 points per question, but not exceeding the amount of points that they've earned in the game. And we'll get the answers, and once that's all tallied up, we'll see who's the cream of the crop.
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah.
All right, so here are your categories for the final round. First one, NBA stats.
Matt with a big smile on his face.
Next question, Pokemon.
I mean, only if you promise to keep it to the first 151.
Next question, Norse mythology. Next question is ad campaigns. And the last question is food science.
And you can just show me your scores separately
We're
here.
gonna tally the bets before the questions are given here, so we know everything's being kept fair, since there's a large deal of money on the line today.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, let me see what you have over there.
Unless
you're still thinking
who
about
will
your
the
wager.
$1 million go to? Are wagers in?
High stakes. No, I'm trying to think about point totals and.
All right, Jeff is
Right, so
considering
Jeff,
the math.
You have 110 points to work with.
So you
60
have to bet
point.
all of
He's
them.
got a 60-point lead, and he's just racking his brain to see how he can pull out the win on this one.
I mean, you could bet 0 across the
That would
boards,
be
but
lame.
That is super lame.
We'll
which
call
is
you
why
a
I'm
chicken.
Not gonna do it.
So a little background on our trivia team. It's called Pain Don't Hurt, and every time we go, our motto is at the end we have a final Jeopardy question. We always bet everything. It's either we win by all of our points or we lose with 0.
That's right.
Go big or go home.
That's right. Second place is a loss.
Yeah.
Might as well.
if you're not first, you're worst.
Yeah, that's right.
And other cliches.
We're not really jerks. That's just our trivia persona.
It's a persona.
If any of you know the reference Pain Don't Hurt, please email us at trivialitypodcast@gmail.com and let us know. I'm curious to see if anyone recognizes that.
All right. Well, Jeff's bets are getting in here.
I just realized I was covering over my wagers like it was some secret. Now, I could lose the game now.
Now we are going to read off the questions.
And
the
if I
players
lose
are going to
the
mark
game
down
now-
answers, and we are going to go over the answers once all the questions are read.
All wagers are in.
All right. So the first question, who is the only NBA player in history to average a triple-double over an entire season? Matt, confidently writing. Said the category is NBA stats, so if you don't know them, you shouldn't have bet, Jeff.
I didn't bet.
He's signing.
But he still wants to
But
get
he
it
still,
right.
he just,
I still think I know it.
he's a knowledgeable guy, and he must get it right. Second question is about Pokemon. By numbered order, what is the 10th listed Pokemon? Number 10 in the original, obviously. 10th listed Pokemon.
Yep.
Okay, next question. In Norse mythology, the future events encompassing the destruction and rebirth of the world is referred to by what name?
One more time, please.
In Norse mythology, the future events encompassing the destruction and rebirth of the world is referred to by what name?
When I hear it, I'm going to be really mad at myself for not getting
More
it
or
right.
less the Norse equivalent of, the apocalypse or Armageddon. And next question is in advertising campaigns. Paul Marcarelli is an actor famous for appearing in the Verizon ads featuring the catchphrase, "Can you hear me now?" As of 2016, he is now appearing in ads for what competitor of Verizon? So if you watch TV right now, you might get this one. And finally, food science. What is the name of the main chemical component that produces the burning sensation of chili peppers?
The chemical component?
We want the name of the component, yes.
All right, I got it.
Do you need time to go back to your other question?
Yeah, my
Okay.
NBA
I'm
stats
just
one.
going to think about the NBA question for a moment, and then we're going to go over the answers here.
And I'm just going to look at him smugly.
Find out who's the cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop.
Yeah, you're gonna look at me smugly. It's funny. You'll say the name because I've got a picture of someone in my head, and the name is just not coming to me, and I'm pretty sure it's right, but I can't
you
tell
have
you.
You have 0 points on the line for that question?
That is correct. I have 0
All right.
points.
So this is something he really needs to get right.
I really want to know that I'm right.
Okay, so let's go over the answers now, and we'll tally the points as we go. So let's have the answer for the NBA question, Matt.
So the answer for right now, and I say for right now because Russell Westbrook is currently averaging a triple-double, and if the season ends, he'd be the second person to do it, is Oscar Robertson, the Big O.
Okay, that's correct.
I would not have gotten that.
Jeff, I don't believe, had an answer down.
What were you thinking? Like Magic Johnson?
No, I was thinking of who's the guy who played about the same time as Bill Russell?
Wilt
Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Wilt again.
He actually, so in the season that Oscar Robertson won that he averaged a triple-double, he didn't win the MVP, and he actually ended up third in MVP voting behind Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, because Wilt Chamberlain averaged almost 50 points a game.
Yeah, I knew it was someone in that era, but I just couldn't. Then the name wasn't coming to me.
Yep. All right. So Pokemon, by number Pokemon, who's the 10th? What do we have, Jeff?
So I worked it out of my head. Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, Squirtle, Wartortle. Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise, Caterpie.
Caterpie. How about you, Matt?
You said the 10th one, right?
10.
And I screwed that up because I only put in for 6 starters. I said Butterfree.
Butterfree. It is Caterpie.
It is.
All right. Norse mythology. What do we have for that question? We're going to start with Matt.
Yeah, I had no idea, so I put Norse Mageddon.
Okay, Norse Mageddon. Good guess.
So
Jeff?
I didn't write anything, but I would like to submit an incorrect answer, and I went Valhalla.
Okay.
I know that's like, heaven essentially, but I don't know what the end time.
One we were going for was Ragnarok.
Oh!
Name of the new Thor movie, by the way. All right. How about, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
What do we have?
Sprint.
Yeah.
Sprint. All right. Both correct. And finally, chili peppers.
I put the compound Nope.
Nope. How about you, Jeff? You seem pretty confident.
That would not be an element. I went with capsaicin.
All right. So capsaicin is correct. Okay. Let's see how the bids racked out.
Okay. So Matt only wagered on the first and second questions. He wagered 30 points in question 1 and got it right, so that would be an additional 30 points. Second question, he wagered 20 points and answered incorrectly, so he lost 20 points. So for Matt's total score,
60
is going to be 60.
Good job, Matt.
Hey, I did it.
Nice game. And Jeff...
It's always good when you finish in the positive.
Jeff wagered 20 points on question 2 and 10 points on question 3, 4, and 5, getting questions 2, 4, and 5 correct. And his total is going to be 140 points. So our cream of the crop today with 140 points is Jeff.
I am the cream, the cream of the crop.
Way to go, Jeff.
Yeah.
Pretty dominant game, but valiant effort by Matt as well. Knew some of those tough sports questions. And,
yeah, I was pretty mad at myself about the Pokemon one. I don't think that there could be a better 2 category for me than NBA stats and Pokemon usually. So.
Well, you bet
that's
the
okay.
farm
We
on those
all
two
make
questions.
mistakes.
Yeah.
We all have little brain freezes. So, all right. Thank you for joining us on the show today, and we hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Ken. If you'd like to play along with our contestants, make sure to check out our Facebook page and download our official Triviality score sheet that we use here in the studio. You can find us on Twitter using the handle @TrivialityPod. And if you'd like to get in touch with us by email, send all messages to trivialitypodcast@gmail.com. And if it's a question 5 submission, make sure you put that in the subject line. Of course, other than spreading the word, the best way you can support the show is by rating, reviewing, and subscribing to Triviality on your favorite podcast app. Until next time, on behalf of Ken, Jeff, and Matt, my name is Neil, and that was Triviality.
Here are your names. Mr. Brown, Mr. White, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Blue, Mr. Orange, Mr. Pink.
Why am I Mr. Pink?
Now listen up, Mr. Pink. There's 2 ways you can go on this job. My way or the highway. Now what's it gonna be, Mr. Pink?